Danny Real Gaming coming at y'all with another video. And unfortunately, I made a post saying that I was not able to get any of the gameplay footage. So I usually do weekly gameplay footage videos, but my laptop died and I was playing in all the tournaments this weekend. So I don't have a lot of gameplay footage. So I figured in today's video I would kind of do an overview of some of the cards that we know are coming out for the newest set in Union Arena, which will be Onepunchman, and we'll be getting a starter deck for this set and also a booster box. Now, we'll be going through the unionarenatcg.com NA site, but I'll also go through the Discord just to kind of like touch on some of the cards that we've seen leaked and revealed, but I just kind of want to give everyone an idea about what are some of the archetypes they are trying to show you on these display sites, right? So we will have a starter deck coming out on February 28th. You should be able to do pre-release events, hopefully, what is that, not next weekend, but the weekend after, for your local game stores for either the structure deck or the boxes. But let's just go through, recreate the heroes in battle. This starter deck features popular heroes like Saitama, Genos, Terrible Tornado, and Hellish Blizzard. Finish the battle with one punch victory. And you can see this is the featured Saitama here. This is a 4 energy 2 action point called Saitama. So kind of a hefty cost to play this, but not really when you see it's got 10,000 BP and it generates you energy. You play this character set to active on your field. This character cannot be removed from the field by your opponent's abilities. Very interesting, so it has protection. At the end of your attack phase, place this character on the bottom of the deck. So essentially, you get to play him out for the 2 action points. You get to swing with 10,000, so you don't have to worry about dying. But at the end of the attack, you do have to put him at the bottom of your deck. So you get to come out for 2 action points to get a free swing in, or force him to block with something. He also has when played, chooses the 1 character 4,000 less BP on your opponent's front line and sideline it. A really good card here. I do think that this Saitama and one of the other ones we'll check out lately are going to be really, really strong in the meta because there are, you know, you can't, there's not any way to answer this card. It's going to come out. You don't care if you hit a special in life because you can't be sidelined by your opponent's effects. And when you play it, you're going to get to sideline one of their 4,000 or less BP characters, which unless you're playing against a lot of green decks or, you know, purple, Muzan, stuff like that, that's essentially every key card in, you know, every deck. So this guy gets to come out, clear a body, and get a free swing in because it is a 10,000 BP body. We do have a really cool event art card that they're showing us here, which is the One Punch. One Punch. It has a draw trigger. It says, choose one of the following. If your opponent has 3 or more life, deal 1 damage to them. That, I haven't read this yet, by the way. I've seen some of the leaks, but I haven't read this card. That is crazy. You just get to play this. If they have 3 or more life, take a life from them for free. Or choose one of your Saitamas and it gains impact 1. Absolutely insane. That's crazy. Like, with this only being 4 energy, wow, this is wild. Like, that's a really strong card, and you get to draw a card. Good thing it's not an add to hand, but you get to draw. That is absolutely insane. On turn 3, you could just drop this down for 4 and then get one of their life out of the way without having to swing. That seems really OP, to be honest. Like all the structure decks, some cards are only available in the starter decks. And it says that you can get an alternate shiny version of this action point, which I love. I'll be building the 2 sisters. That'll be one of the decks that I definitely look forward to playing, is building the 2 of them. I like them a lot. They're both really, really cool. It's cool to see I can get a shiny action point. But this is just going into the details about what this, you know, should cost. It comes out February 28th, looking around MSRP of, you know, 12 to 16 bucks usually for these things. But that's the cards they want you to show on the structure deck. But I also wanted to go over the cards they're trying to feature in the booster box here. So this will be our 6th booster box in the Union Arena card game for NA. It'll be coming out on March the 7th, so you should be able to do, you know, a pre-release at your stores if they have a product to do it. That's definitely the best way to get a hold of a lot of the cards and then kind of see if you like a set. I definitely recommend playing in these pre-release events. Support your local game stores, and also a great way to know if you're going to like the cards or not by playing with them. But in this box, one of the super rares you will be able to grab is this Genos, and it is a yellow Genos, so you'll be able to add it to your structure deck with the Saitama if you really want to, and I think that that's definitely what this deck it goes into. It's a double energy, only costs 3 energy to play, and it has 3,000 plus BP. Really strong stats on a character for sure. It has Nullify Impact, which is more and more relevant the longer we go on in this card game. So many big monsters and characters, having the impact. Nice to have a body that can, have the nullify impact. If Saitama's on your field, this character gains 1,000 BP, which is crazy. Like, you just move him up. If you play the Saitama's active. Now you have a 4,000 BP Genos. And it says, when sidelined, if this character is sidelined due to losing a battle, choose up to one character in your field and switch it to active. So essentially, this is a good defensive card because he lets you, you can block with him if you're really in a pinch, and then use him to restand one of your other characters that have maybe blocked that turn. And, whenever he's sidelined, you really want to, like, swing with something first, then swing with him. If he gets sidelined, you can switch it to active, or if, like, you're going to go block with your bigger guy first, block with the Genos, he dies, you get to unsuspend one of your characters, which is, really versatile. Very interesting card. I do like this a lot. It feels a lot like the Tokito from the Demon Slayer. Really good card, and he is your color trigger for the deck, which lets you, choose one of your opponent's front line and switch it to resting, and it will remain resting the next time it would switch to active. Really good card here. Another SR on the site they want us to go over is the Speed O Sound Sonic. I like him in the show. He is a really cool character. This card is very interesting. It does have raid in life. It's only a 4 energy, 4,000 BP, which is really good for curving out. And it is a raid on top of the Speedo Sonic. It says at the end of this character's attack, if you have 3 or less cards in your sideline, and there are no other characters on your opponent's front line with 6,000 more base PP, you may swap this character with a Speedo Sonic on your energy line. So you get to swing in with him. If you don't have any cards essentially in your sideline, and your opponent doesn't have a humongous 6,000 more base BP character, which essentially they're meaning Saitama, because he's the only one that really has a base BP more than that. So they're really just saying Saitama here. You may swap this character to your energy line, so he just like swinging, bring out another one, swinging, bring out another one. It's pretty cool, pretty cool. And then when played, you may place 3 cards from your sideline to your removal. If you do, draw a card. So essentially, it seems like this deck is going to want to revolve around not having cards in your removal area, and when he's played, it lets you remove 3, and you get to draw cards. That way, you're able to get his cool effect. Very interesting card, a very unique style of play. It seems like that they're trying to do with that. The story recreated. They want to recreate some of the shots from the anime, and this is I merely immobilized them. Very funny seeing the tornado throwing everyone into the wall. This is an active trigger in life. This is yellow, so maybe being able to play in the Terrible Tornado Hellish Blizzard deck. But you can only use one of this card once per turn. Choose one character in your opponent's front line and switch it to resting. If you have Terrible Tornado and Hellish Blizzard on the field, on your front line, switch it to resting, and it will remain set to resting. The next time it would be switched to active instead. So it's just a good stun card. Really cool, interesting card, letting you stun them down. I do like this art. Really cute. Like I said, I am going to build the Tornado and Blizzard deck for sure for me. This is just showing that we are getting signature cards from the voice actors for Saitama. Really beautiful art here. I love the signature on the art. I think this art looks really good with the color design for Saitama. And this is the big, bad, Saitama for the set here. This Saitama is absolutely insane. It also has 10,000 BP. Play this character set to active on your field. This character must attack if able to. Really cool. It has damage too, and this character cannot be removed from the field by your opponent's abilities. Now, your opponent's abilities are very, very interesting. I'm not sure how the wording works on that. Like, it doesn't say character's abilities or event abilities, so I would just think that saying your opponent's abilities covers everything altogether. So you can't really touch this card. It can't be removed, but you can maybe stun him down, which is going to be the way you get around Saitama, is by resting him and not letting him come rested, which is really cool. But this character is crazy. 5 energy, 2 action point, comes out active, 10,000 BP, damage 2. You are going to get some hits in. And then activate main once per turn. Place 1 Saitama card from your hand into your sideline. If you do, this character gains impact 1 until the end of the turn. So essentially, you trash a Saitama from your hand, give him impact 1, and he has damage 2, which is insane. And he's 10,000 BP, so you're getting over everything they have. And then when attacking, this character remains set to resting. The next time it would be switched to active, which is, really, really cool. That this is kind of the downside of it, but at least this one doesn't go away at the end of the turn, and you don't care too much because this one only costs 1 more than the other Saitama, And this card is just absolutely insane because your opponent can't clear this card off the board, and they're going to have to deal with that damage over and over again. I think seeing Saitama come out is going to put a lot of pressure on some of these big decks we see, like, you know, Blue JJK and the Code Geass. A lot of those decks not being able to get over this character and then be able to apply a lot of pressure early without having any stunning aspects too, right? So I can see some other good yellow decks coming into the meta that have a better play into Saitama, because if you just tap him down, you're not removing him, so then you can keep him from, you know, being used in an impactful way from your opponent. He is a get trigger to your hand, which is really cool. Love this Saitama. Definitely the strongest card from the set. Really, really cool. I know a lot of people are going to be looking forward to building Saitama. And just going through some of these cards, these are some notable signature arts they want you to see. This is the green Saitama, so we'll have 2 of the yellow Saitamas and then 2 of the green Saitamas, and this one is the whopping 15 energy costs, 2 action point Saitama. He gives you 1 energy, 10,000 BP, but this one does that special instance where for every 5 cards in your sideline, reduce this character's required energy by 1 while in your hand, and obviously you play him set to active on the field when you play him. This guy has impact 3, damage 7. Insane. The strongest card in all of Union Arena. Hands down, this card is just absolutely the most powerful card in Union Arena, and it's cool that they gave this effect to Saitama since, you know, he is, you know, the one-punch king. Really, really cool. I do like that, you know, he has the impact 3, damage 7, so it essentially means that your opponent has to block this character and they're still going to take 3 damage, but you're trying to, I'm assuming the deck would be based around trying to fuel your graveyard or your sideline with you know, cycle, probably drawing, trashing cards, or putting cards in the sideline. He can't be removed from the field by your opponent's abilities. And then when attacking, choose up to 1 character in your opponent's front line and sideline it, which is absolutely insane as well. And then at the end of the battle, if this character was blocking, return it to your hand. So a way where your opponent, you know, can still do some things. You can't just wall them out with the Saitama, because if you do, you have to put him back in your hand. But you really don't care if next turn you can just play him again for the 2 action points and he's active. Swing in again. Sideline one of their characters on their front line. Get the 3 impact damage for sure. So really, really cool. Interesting to see. So like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 would reduce him by 5 to 10. So I'm very curious to see like how exactly you get this card out. But it is absolutely insane. The strongest card in the game for sure. This is another Genos that we have. Will be a super rare from the set. This is just the signature art. He does give you double energy, which is really cool. And he is only 3 energy and gives you the plus 3,000 BP. If Saitama's on your field, this character gains 1,000 BP. We've seen it, you know, here. This is just the really cool art. When sidelined, this character is sidelined due to losing a battle. Choose it 1 character in your field and switch it active. This is just the signature art. Really cool art for this Genos. But let's go into some of the cards we haven't seen yet. Terrible Tornado. I love her. She is so cool in the show. 4 energy, 4,000 BP. You can raid her on top of a Terrible Tornado. During your turn, if you have used an event this turn, this character gains impact 1. Really cool. So you're going to be, you know, the theme of this deck, I think, is to play a lot of events, usually maybe for free or get really cool effects. Play out your Tornado and Blizzard and get really cool stuff. So she gives you impact if you played one. And then activate main if on the front line, reduce the AP cost of the next event you use from your hand this turn by 1. You can only use this effect of Terrible Tornado once per turn. So essentially, you bring her out and you get a lot of value because you get to just play an event for free, and then now she has impact, and hopefully a lot of these events are going to do cool things, which we do know, you know, one of them already rests one of their characters, and you may be able to keep it resting. So I think that the Terrible Tornado is a really good card, and I can't wait to build it. We will go into her sister, the really cool looking Hellish Blizzard. I love her a lot. Really pretty art on her. She is 3,000 plus BP. She unfortunately does cost 4, so a little more. She does raid on top of a Hellish Blizzard. When played, you draw 2 cards. So free cycle there, just get to draw 2 cards. We love to see draw power in Union Arena. There's really not a ton of it for like yellow cards. I know purple has most of that draw power, but activate main if on the front line. Place 2 cards from your hand to the sideline. Once per turn, choose one of the following. Add 1 event card without a special from your sideline to your hand. All characters in your field gain 1,000 BP till the end of the turn. Really versatile effect here. She's drawing you the 2 cards. So that way then you can use her effect to trash those 2 cards, say you had no other cards in your hand, and then you either get to add an event to your hand or just boost your field by 1,000, meaning that you can make her, you know, the 4,000 and then make your Hellish Tornado 5, which is a really cool, strong combo for sure. This is just a Speedosonic that we saw earlier. Really cool card, just the signature art. But the other deck that I'm definitely going to be building is Garu. I loved him in the show. He was really cool. I love this signature by this artist, by the way. Really cool with the little art and the little devil guy here. I love it. He is 6 energy, 1 action point, and 4,000 plus BP, so we know he's going to get a boost somewhere on this card. This character gains all abilities listed below if you have the required number of cards in your sideline. 5 or more, when attacking, you draw a card. Really cool. Nice to see that. 10 or more, he gains 500 BP and impact 1. If you have 15 or more, this character gains 500 BP and once per turn when this character attacks and is not blocked, you switch it to active. So essentially going to be a double attacker. If you have 15 or more, you're going to draw a card. You're going to be at 5,000 and you're going to have impact 1. And then your opponent's not going to want to block you, so then you get to, you know, bring it back up. And then to be noted here, this one attacking is not once per turn. So you're going to get a lot of value if they don't block out this Garo. I do think him being 6 is maybe a little steep, but hopefully the red deck does have some way to double energy generate. I love this card a lot. I can't wait to play with Garo. Coming down, they're just showing you, you know, display art for some of the characters here. And then these are going to be our box toppers. We can see we're getting a Genos here, who is just a 0-drop 15 get trigger to hand. My girl, the Terrible Tornado, same thing, a 0-15 get trigger. Really cool to see King here. 0 get trigger, and he has an interesting effect. Activate main, pay 1 AP once per turn. You draw a card. So you can see here, he's probably one of the characters that's going to help you cycle to get that Saitama where you can play him out. Metal Bat, a lot of people's, you know, favorite from the show, just to get trigger 15. I love that they do foil versions of these cards. We see our boy Speedosonic here. And then finally, my boy Garo. I don't like that his is not a get trigger. That's really unfortunate. But he does have an active trigger in red, which is going to be pretty cool. 0 energy. You do want these 0 energies in the game to be get triggers, right? Because they're going to be your raid fodder in the decks. So I think when a lot of them don't have a active or a get trigger, it makes, you know, consistency for the deck really, really low. But I do like the display art on this for sure. This video is getting a little bit longer than I wanted to, but I'm glad we went over those. And I do want to go into the Discord that we do post. A lot of the community posts, you know, leaks of the cards. We do see that this is the Saitama that we talked about here. And then we do have this Genos here, which is also, you know, really, really cool, going to be in the structure deck. This is a Raid Genos. I like the art on this one. It says, when played, this character gains impact 1 until the end of the turn, which is really strong, 4,000 impact 1. And then when he's sidelined, play up to 1 yellow Genos card with 3 or less required energy, 1 AP cost from your hand, set to resting onto your field. If Saitama's on your field, you play it as active instead. So Genos just, you know, being a mech, being able to replace himself back and forth is really cool, and he does have a raid trigger to the hand. We are going to see another Genos here. This is going to be the color trigger one from the deck that we talked about earlier. This is just the Saitama that is, you know, the 5 energy, 2 action point, damage 2. Really cool card. We get to see the nice, cool alt art for the Hellish Blizzard. It seems like I said, none of these are official, but I think that these are just, you know, leaks on the page. So don't take these for granted, but I am excited for this card. When played, look at the top 4 cards of your deck. Reveal up to 1 yellow card with 3 or less required energy among them. Add it to your hand. The place remaining into your sideline, which is awesome because you can, you know, grab the events and then put 1 into your sideline. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. If the reveal card is an event card, place it into your sideline instead. Really cool cycle for the deck. Love this art. I just love Hellish Blizzard. She's so pretty and classy. Really cool character in the show too. This is just during your turn. If you're terrible with tornadoes on your front line, this character gains 1,000 BP. So she'll be a double energy, 3 energy to use, 3,000 BP on your board if you need it. And then you just look at the top 4 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 event card among them, add it to your hand, place the remaining at the bottom of your deck in any order. If you added a card to your hand, place 1 card from your hand to your sideline, and then she is your color trigger, which is just switching something to resting, and it can't come back up. This is going to be our Terrible Tornado, the 2 energy, 1 action point, 3,000 BP. If on the front line, Hellish Blizzard cards on your field cannot be chosen by your opponent's character or trigger abilities. Oh, I like this. So a little protection for her sister in the deck. Really, really cool. You play this one out. Now you have an early, 3000 BP body. And then you can get your cycle going through with your Blizzard. I love that. Very thematic. And then we have the 4 energy raid one. This is just the one we went over earlier that gives her the impact for the turn. This is the Saitama that we were talking about, reducing the AP to play this character. Really, really cool card. I think this is just maybe either the alt art or a normal art for it. Going through some more reveals during your turn. Reduce the required energy of all Saitamas in your hand by 1. So we're getting to see some cards out here. I guess you play down some of these Genos and they let you reduce those big Saitamas. So imagine you're just having to have characters on your board and also having to have cards in your trash. Here is a king who says this character cannot attack or block. 5,000 BP. What? For 3 energy, 2? Wow, this is pretty cool. Okay, it raids on top of king. This character generates energy even if it's on the front line. Alright, now we're seeing where you're getting some extra energy generation to be able to play that Saitama. Because he's going to give you 2. The Genos is going to reduce them down 2. That's pretty cool. When played, draw a card. Then you may place 1 Saitama card from your hand to your sideline. If you do, choose up to 1 character your opponent's front line. What? This king is so busted. That is so strong. And it has more. Activate main if on the front line, switch to resting. Place up 3 cards on top of your deck to your sideline. Wow. Okay, this king seems like a really good card for getting the Saitamas out. Definitely going to be one of the cards you're going to be looking to get rid of. I think him having the 5,000 BP is kind of crazy though, right? You're not going to be able to kill things very easy like that unless you have, the generic kill spells that pop something. Really, really cool. These are just the box toppers that we saw from earlier. We just saw their shiny foil versions with the one punch, the Saitama, the action point. Just going through the signature arts here. And then just a couple more reveals for other things. We see the metal bat. This metal bat is a raid for metal bat, 4 energy, 4,000 BP. Nullify impact, which is really good to see here. It's nice to see that the set has a lot of stuff with nullify impact, considering, the Saitama is one of the main cards in the deck, in the set, and he has all that impact damage. So I like that they put in where if you do these draft events with this set, you have some ways to play around the Saitama, right? Which is really, really cool. It is 4,000 BP. You rated on top of Metal Bat. This character gains all abilities listed below if you have the required number of other affinity cards on your field. If you have 3 or more other heroes, he gains impact 1. 6 or more. When sideline, you may place 1 card from your hand into your sideline. If you do, play this card set to resting onto your field. Really, really cool. So maybe like a low to the ground hero rush deck. He's the big bad guy in it, being able to come out, have the impact, and then if you would sideline him, you have 6 or more. You just play him back out. Really cool, and he keeps that nullify impact because that is above the raid cards at the top there. We see our boy Metal Knight here, just a 3 energy, 2,500 BP. When played, add up to 1 green character with 2 or less required energy and 1 AP costs from your hand set to resting. What? Play up to 1 green character with 2 or less required energy and 1 AP costs from your hand set to resting on the field. Wow, that's pretty good. So him helping you, just be able to play out more heroes. We're seeing some synergy with the Metal Bat here. That's our boy Garo that we saw earlier. Here is the 2 energy, 3,000 BP one. When played, place up to 2 cards from the top of your deck into your sideline, so you fuel your sideline with cards. This is the color trigger in red. A lot of people are upset with this color trigger only being 2,500 less BP because it doesn't hit a ton of cards, but it is a really good, I think, trigger in the game for if your opponent's ever trying to rush you down, you kind of get through. And then sometimes later in the game, it does come up. But, having everyone running 4 specials, if red got to have a color trigger that also hits something higher than 25, I think red would have too much control in the game. I know I'm really excited to build these monster decks. This is a Sentachoru. It's a Monster Association card. 4,500 BP. This card is cool. I've already seen this before. If on the front line, the number of cards you can place onto your front line is reduced by 1. If you have 15 or more cards on your sideline, this character gains damage 2. Really cool. So he just takes up an extra spot on your front line, essentially. And if you have 15 or more cards in your sideline, he gains damage 2. And he's 4,500 BP. Nothing to scoff at. And he's an active trigger. Really good card. Super S, another Monster Hunter Association card. She's 4 energy, 3,000 BP, and she generates you 1. When played, choose one of the following. You either draw a card or choose 2 characters with 2,000 less BP and whose BP are the same on your opponent's front line and sideline them. The interesting thing to know here is that they have to be the same BP and they have to be 2,000 or less. But say they have 2 early, 1,500 blockers they moved up. You play her and now you're clearing the board early and they might be in trouble. And she's a draw trigger. Really cool. Love to see this card. We have our Mosquito Girl, too. I love the art on this card. Really cool with the purplish, swishy stuff in the background. She only costs 1 energy, 1 action point. I'm assuming this is the alt art for her. Like I said, just samples, just leaks that we've seen. When played, choose up to 1 other character in your field. It gains 1,000 BP until the end of the turn. Activate main. Once per turn, you may add 1 card from your life area to your hand. If you do, this character gains 2,500 BP until the end of the turn. So you could play her down for 1 on your turn 1. If you're the turn player 2, you don't get to attack, but if they don't clear this off, now you get to swing with a 4,000 BP body every turn if you are okay trading your life for their life, because you'll add that card from your life to your hand, and now you're swinging into their life. I could see her being really, really cool. She's a House of Evolution, not a monster, which is a little unfortunate for me wanting to build the monster deck. We see the Speedosonics here. This is the smaller version for him. He does give you 2 energy. He has step. Activate main once per turn. Place 3 cards from your sideline into your removal. If you do, he gains an extra 1,000. So a 3 energy, 4,000 BP body that you can have on your board, and he helps you get rid of the cards in your sideline. These are just some leaked alt arts. Really, really cool. Seeing the Prisoner, the Terrible Tornado, the Hellish Blizzard. I'm not going to try to read these cards, but we can see him having the 2,000 BP here. Really cool alt arts for other cards in the set. The Speedosonic, our boy Garu, and the Shiryu. Looking really cool, like a 0 energy, 2,000 BP, which is not bad. Draw a trigger. And the last of the reveals that we have so far from the Discord server are a Child Emperor, King, and a Watchdog Man. All looking really cool, like characters here. We've seen that King being kind of wild. Like I said, thanks for hanging out with me on this video. I kind of just wanted to do something based off One Punch Man to get everybody excited and do a little bit different of a video. But please let me know in the comments what y'all think about this video. Leave the video a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.